Hello, this is the 18th lecture on solutions to chemistry. The basic concepts in chemistry. And this is solutions to chemistry part 3. This in the earlier video we had discussed the different types of concentrations, how to measure the concentrations of solution from percent strength, W by W, W by V, V by V, molarity, normality, molality, mole fraction, parts per million, parts per billion, all these ways of expressing concentrations. We had done that. Today, in this lecture, we will be discussing how we can solve stoichiometric problems involving solutions and of course involving molarity. Hello, have you subscribed to my channel? If not, and you are following my videos, please subscribe. And also at the end, if you like this video, you do not hesitate to like. Understand? So we have already known that the product of the volume of solution in liter and its molarity, and that will give you the number of moles of solute. Now this is volume of solution, which can be variable. Molarity of the solution can be variable, but the product will be the amount of the amount of the reactant, the number of moles of solute. Amount can be either in terms of mass, gram, or in terms of moles. Similarly, number of millimoles of solute is equal to volume of the solution in milliliter multiplied by molarity. So this we shall be making use of in solving stoichiometric problems. Conversely, if the volume of the solution or the molarity is known, conversely, the volume of the solution or molarity can be found out if the other is known as well as the amount of the solute is known. So out of these three, molarity, which is a concentration term, volume of the solution, and number of millimoles or number of moles, amount. If out of the three, two are known, the third one can be calculated. And the experiment by which we measure the volume of the solution, which exactly can react with a given volume of the other reactant having a known concentration. That experiment in which the unknown thing, the unknown out of the four, out of these three, and this amount and the volume of the solution and molarity. To determine, we have to perform a titration experiment. A solution of reactant A will be allowed to react with a solution of reactant B till the end of the reaction. That experiment is called titration experiment. That will be performed, right? Let's take an example how we can use molarity method to solve solutions to stoichiometry. So far, we had not used the solution of the reactant. Here we are using solution of the reactant with a particular molarity concentration. We know it's very simple. The volume of the solution multiplied by the molarity of the solution, that will give you the amount, the number of moles or number of millimoles. See this example. How much zinc will be completely reacting with 200 ml of 2M sulfuric acid solution, also calculate the volume of hydrogen gas evolved in this reaction at STP. Now, deliberately, I have given this task to distinguish between this volume and this volume. This is the liquid volume, the aqueous solution volume, and this is gaseous volume, to which Avogadro's law, 22.4 liter concept, GMV, gram molar volume concept is applicable. But for this volume, the Avogadro's law is not applicable. So students get confused when they find the volume unit in a stoichiometric problem. They can't make out sometimes whether it is a gaseous volume or a liquid solution volume, right? So let's start. Zinc will react with sulfuric acid to give you zinc sulfate. You know, this is a displacement reaction, and it is fortunately already balanced. Nothing has to be done. It's balanced. Then just find out what is the number of moles of sulfuric acid consumed in this reaction. You know, if you multiply the volume in milliliter into molarity or volume in liter into molarity, that will fetch you the number of moles. Milliliter into molarity, number of millimoles. Let us take number of moles. So number of moles of sulfuric acid is equal to 0.2, because 200 ml is 0.2 liter into molarity is 2. This is 0.4 moles. So let us solve by mole method or mole mass method. So if 1 mole sulfuric acid is reacting with 1 mole zinc. 1 mole zinc means gram molar mass is 65 gram. It is given here. So let us write 65 gram here for zinc, because we will be finding the mass of the zinc, and here 1 mole. So a mole mass relationship we establish. So if 1 mole is reacting with 65 grams of zinc, then 0.5 mole will react with 65 into 0.4, 26 gram. So how much of zinc will completely react? 26 grams of zinc will be completely reacting with 200 ml of 2M solution of sulfuric acid. Now in this solution, we have this amount, 0.4 moles of sulfuric acid. And that 0.4 mole of sulfuric acid will be consuming 26 grams, because if 1 mole consumes 65 grams, then 0.4 mole will consume 26 grams. Then it is asking about hydrogen. If 1 mole sulfuric acid produces 22.4 liters, because the molar volume is this. Don't confuse this volume with this volume, liter at STP. Then 0.4 mole will produce 22.4 into 0.4. 8.96. 8.96 liters at STP. That. So the purpose of this video lecture is to acquaint you with the techniques to solve problems involving molarity of a solution. Let's proceed to the next one. What volume of, this is question number 2, example 2. What volume of 0.3 m sulfuric acid solution is required to exactly neutralize 200 ml of 0.5 m NaOH solution? These are all molar. Now, you attack the reagent whose both data are given, volume data and molarity data. You first attack that. Find the amount by multiplying these two. So the number of, let us this time use millimole method. So don't be stuck by one method. Change the methods. And once you like a particular method, don't change it. You continue either in mole method or millimole method. Millimole is little handy because when you add several things together, it is easier to add in millimole because there will be some positive values. Some good values like 5.7, 20.5 like that. In mole, it will be 0.05, 0.007. So to add up these things will have some chance of committing error. Therefore, millimole method, milliequivalent method, we shall be adopting only for mathematical, ease of calculation, right? So, number of millimoles of NaOH, because the two data are given, is equal to 200 into 0.5, that is 100. We could have also done 200 ml is equal to 0.2 liters, 0.2 into 0.5. It would have been 0.01 mole. Instead of 0.01 mole, we are writing 100 millimoles, right? And then we write down the equation. What is happening? What is the stoichiometry involved in the neutralization reaction? Let us balance it. So this is 2, this is 2. So the ratio is 2:1 because in mole method the ratio may be 1:1, maybe 2:1, maybe 2:3, 3:5. That depends on the balanced equation. But in equivalent method that we shall study soon, the next video, that it always takes place in equivalence, means X equivalent of A will react with X equivalents of B. So it is much easier to calculate or solve a single reaction problem in a titration experiment by normality method, because that will give you the number of equivalents which are same for both reactants, right? Don't worry, we shall talk about that later. Now this is the relationship 2:1. So if 2 millimole reacts with 1 millimole, 2 mole, 1 mole, 2 millimole, 1 millimole, then 100 millimole will react half of it, that is 50 millimole. So we got this in millimole. The next step is to find the volume of this liquid solution. So molarity is number of millimoles by volume in milliliter or number of moles by volume in liter. So volume in liter, that is ml, is equal to number of millimoles by molarity. So the molarity of the sulfuric acid solution is given. So the number of millimoles required has been already found out. So 50 by molarity is 0.3. So you are getting 500 by 3 milliliters. It will be some 166.67 milliliters of sulfuric acid having molarity 0.3 m. At this particular time, I am interested to tell you how easy it would have been had you calculated by normality method, which we will be doing in the next lecture. What you would have done, out of the way I am saying, because we will be doing these things again in the next video. See, even if it is given 0.3 m, you convert it to normality. The n factor is 2, so you convert it to normality. Molarity numerically is a lower number, normality is numerically is a greater number if the two are not same. So 0.3 into 2, that is equal to 0.6 n. So 0.3 m sulfuric acid is nothing but 0.6 n sulfuric acid. Similarly, 0.5 m NaOH is same as 0.5 n NaOH because the n factor is 1. There is only one OH group. So once you convert the molarity into normality by operating on 2 or by multiplying with the n factor, then V1 N1 is equal to V2 N2. The volume of the solution into normality, we know it is number of equivalents. Volume of the solution into molarity is the number of moles. Volume of the solution into normality is the number of equivalents. So this would have been 200 into 0.5 or 0.2 liters into 0.5 is equal to 1 equivalent. 0.2, 0.5, 1 equivalent. So that means the product of these two, the volume of acid into its normality, has to be equal to 1 equivalent, because the famous slogan will be, in the next video, I am talking in advance, V1N1 is equal to V2N2. That is, the number of equivalents or milliequivalents of one reactant should be equal to number of milliequivalents or equivalents of the other reactant. So volume into normality will give you the number of equivalents or milliequivalents, as the case may be. So this is very simple. This you will write in one line, say 0.2 into 0.5 is equal to x. Let's the volume of the acid is x into 0.6. So x is equal to, this is 1 by 0.6, that is again 0.16667 liters. So that is equal to 166.67 milliliters. Got it? So I did it in liter method. I mean liter, not milliliter, because I converted this into liter. 0.2 into, not point, yes, 0.5, 0.2 into 0.5, and this is x into 0.6, because the normality is 0.6. So just V1N1 is equal to V2N2 will solve your purpose. You get the volume, right? You get the volume. We will continue because the town supply has gone out, so we will continue our recording without interruption. I think you can see me, there is no problem. So let me rub it off, because I have not done it officially. I have done it out of the way, saying that how easy it is to solve problems on the basis of equivalence. V1N1 is equal to V2N2. But before we approach V1N1, V2N2, I wanted to go via mole method. Millimoles. And then I will show you how easy it is to work out in equivalent method. Let us go to the next one. Yes, we have done it. This is the third example we'll be doing, example 3. What volume of m by 10? Don't worry, if I tempt you to solve problems by equivalent method, you will not allow me to explain this by molar method, mole method. Hold on, hold your breath. What volume of m by 10 solution of ferrous sulfate will be exactly required to completely react with 1.58 gram of KMnO4 in dilute sulfuric acid medium? Here, the volume of the solution of one reactant is not given. The absolute mass of the pure reactant is given. So, in volumetric analysis that we are doing now, at least requires the solution of one reactant. At least one reactant. If both the reactants are in the form of solution with some fixed molarity or normality, then it is well and good. But at least one of them should be in the form of solution. The other one may not be in the form of solution, as you find here in this case, potassium permanganate is a solid. So it doesn't matter. We can convert it into its equivalents, right? Let us take up this. What volume of m by 10? Let us first write down what is the equation. It is a huge equation. I remind you, KMnO4 is an oxidant in acidic medium, and that will react with ferrous sulfate, you have to have a knowledge of prediction. LOC, we have learned how to predict a reaction. Often students, they face difficulties in this stoichiometry calculations because they can't predict the products. Therefore, it becomes a Herculean task to find the products and then balance it. So that needs your knowledge of language of chemistry, basic knowledge about the reaction in organic reactions. To avoid that, in many problems you will be given the balanced equation, a ready-made balanced equation you will be given, so that you can jump onto numerical calculations. Now let me tell you, this will give you potassium sulfate, and manganese from +7 it will go to +2, manganese 2 sulfate, plus ferrous will be oxidized to ferric sulfate plus water, and you have to balance this. You understand how time consuming this balancing technique is. If you do it by equivalent method, normality method, you will get only in seconds V1, N1, V2, N2. But for that, you must know the N factor. And if you remember the N factor of common oxidants, reductants, acids, bases and all that, it will be rather easier on your part to solve a problem by equivalent method rather than molar method. Now on balancing, we will be getting this. I'm not spending time to explain to you the balancing techniques in acidic medium. The ON method, the partial equation method, so many methods. If you are curious to know about them, please visit LOC, Language of Chemistry. So to this will be 10, this will be 5, this will be 2, this will be 8, this will be also 8. Now you check whether this is correct balanced equation or not. So the relationship between KMnO4 and ferrous sulfate is 2:10 or 1:5. That means 2 mole KMnO4 requires 10 mole. And let's see what is the number of moles present in 1.58 gram. 1.58 gram KMnO4 is equal to how many moles? Or you can say 2 into 158, make it mass. 2 into 158 gram reacts with 10 mole. Keep this as mole because we want molarity. We will deal with molarity, so let it be mole. Then if this many grams requires 10 moles of ferrous sulfate, so 1.58 gram, that is the amount given in this particular reaction. Will react with 10 by 2 into 158 into 1.58. So this will be 100, this will be 10, 1 by 20 or 0.05 moles. That much of ferrous sulfate will be required for the given condition and for the given reaction conditions, right? So if the molarity is known if the molarity is known and the number of moles present in that solution is known, then can you not find out the volume? So number of moles by volume in liter is molarity, which implies the volume in liter is equal to number of mole by molarity. Number of moles of ferrous sulfate required is 0.05. The molarity is decimolar, means 1 by 10. 1 by 10 means 0.1. So that will be 0.5 liters, which is equal to 500 milliliters. Got it? Right? But you must be thinking, had you given a chance to solve this problem, you would have definitely opted the equivalent concept. Now, ferrous sulfate as a reductant, can you tell me what is the N factor? We have done so many times, and hopefully you have done the assignments to make yourself feel confident. So ferrous sulfate has an N factor equal to 1 because it goes to ferric sulfate. So the N factor is 1. So what the molarity and normality, they are same. This is also 0.1 N. And what about this? Okay, this one there is no volume, so there is no point in converting to normality. So for this case, you have to find out, this 0.05. But I think this problem, it is easier to handle by molar method. Now, not that, because no, yes, light has come. No, you can as well solve by not writing the equation at all. You do not know the equation, its products. You simply know that if if this mass is given, so the number of equivalents of KMnO4 is equal to mass by equivalent mass, 1.58. Can you tell me what is the equivalent mass of KMnO4 used as an oxidant in acidic medium? Tell me. Is 5, because it goes from +7 to +2. The change in oxidation number is 5. So the N factor is 5. That much memory every student has. So I remind you, it is 31.6, 158 by 5. So the equivalent mass is 31.6. So you know the number of equivalents is this much. The number of equivalents, the number of equivalents is 1.58 divided by 31.6. It is 0.05. Now you know the number of equivalents and you know the normality. So the same way, volume in liter is equal to number of equivalents divided by normality, that is 0.1. Same answer you are getting, because the volume will be same whether you are carrying out in equivalent method, that is normality method, or molarity method, that is 0.5 liters, 500 ml. Yes, you have, in that we bypass the equation, balancing, all that. But the same thing, N factor is obtained here, 2:10, 1:5, the N factor is 5. Indirectly, you do the same thing. But once you remember, KMnO4 in acidic medium, N factor is 5. So you save time by following an equivalent concept. So I'm sorry, this is unofficial discussion. So I'm rubbing it off, because this is all unofficial discussion, will be coming officially in our next video. Let us proceed. This we have already done. You could have as well done by millimole method, the number of millimoles. I'm coming back to the molar method, the monotonous lengthy method that we are doing in this video. Millimole of KMnO4 is mass by molecular mass into 1000. This is the number of moles, this is the number of millimoles. Number of moles into 1000 will be number of millimoles. And if you want to kill milli, then you have to divide by, supposing I want to convert 10 millimoles into how many moles? So 10 by 1000, and that will be the number of millimoles. That is 0.01. This is 0.01. So if 2 millimoles of KMnO4 reacts with 10 millimoles of ferrosulfate, then 10 millimoles will react with 50 millimoles. Then the volume of the solution in milliliter is the number of millimoles by molarity. It is 50 by 0.1. So directly you are getting the volume in milliliters. I like the milli concept. Both millimole in mole method and milliequivalent in the normality method. Right? Calculate the molarity of NaOH solution. 28.7 ml of such a solution completely neutralizes 25 ml of a decimolar phosphoric acid solution. You will be feeling little really monotonous. Why not by normality method? Because the acidity, the basicity is 3, so the N factor is 3, so decimolar, that is 0.1 m means 0.3 n. So let's do by V1N1 is equal to V2N2, so that you can get the result quickly. Now, Let us bear with this monotony. First acquaint ourselves in molar method, then we are at free to use any method that suits you the most. Now the data for phosphoric acid is given for both volume and molarity. So the number of millimoles, simply we write millimoles, let us do it by milli method, is equal to volume in milliliter into molarity. I am having a hangover of normality, equivalent concept. I have to maintain restraint because I am teaching you. 0.25 into the number of into the molarity is 0.1, deci means 0.1, 1 by 10. So it is 2.5 number of millimoles. Now let us write down. Here we have to write down, no respite. You have to write down the equation, balance it. That's the tedious job. Complete neutralization means no acidic hydrogen atom will stay back. All these three will go to form a normal salt. So here it will be 3, here it will be 3. Right? This is balanced. So the ratio, mole ratio is 3:1, or 3 millimole reacts with 1 millimole. 3 mole, 1 mole, 3 millimole, 1 millimole. So if 1 millimole reacts with 3 millimoles, so 2.5 millimole that we have found out from the volume and molarity data will consume 3 times, that is 7.5 millimoles of NaOH. So the millimoles of NaOH is known, the amount, and its volume is known. Have a look there, not here, there. So volume is known, number of millimoles is known. So molarity is equal to number of millimoles, that is 7.5 by volume in milliliter, 28.7. So that is coming, I have done it, it is coming 0.261, 0.261. That is. Should we tackle this by normality method? Will you allow me to do that? Yes, but unofficial, a secret mission. Now you convert it to normality. 0.1 m means, since n factor is 3 here, it will be 0.3 n. Right. Then in one line, V1 N1 is equal to V2 N2, 28.7 into the normality of NaOH is equal to 25 into 0.03. So the normality of sodium hydroxide will be, let me solve for you. You just hear me, wait for some time. I will be ready with the answer. 0.75 divided by, this is point, again point, (28.7) into normality is equal to how much? 25 into 0.03. 25 into 0.03 divided by 28.7. Oh my God. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is 0.3. You must be noticing because I can't interact with you. This is deci means 0.1. So 3 times means it is 0.3 and not 0.03. Deci means 0.1. 0.1 m means 0.3, 3 times more. So here we have done. That is why the answers are not matching. This is 0.3. So the answer is same. And immediately you convert it to molarity. because it is asking about molarity. You know, the n factor is now to be divided, because once you are wanting to convert normality into molarity, the n factor will be divided by the normality to get molarity. So the n factor is 1 for NaOH, same as 0.261 m. So you require two conversions. First conversion to convert the molarity given to normality, then V1, N1, V2, N2. Finally, if volume is asked, then volume is same whether you are carrying out normality method or molarity method. But if you are asked molarity, then normality will be again at the last would be converted to molarity by dividing with the same n factor. I mean the n factor of that particular substance. Now this is all secret. Let us rub it off. What has happened? So we have done it. Yes. We have done this, and what has happened to this writing? It has gone somewhere, vanished, doesn't matter. I will be giving you the lecture notes with all retained, not vanished. Don't worry, you have already done this. While just rubbing off, everything went off. Doesn't matter. Let us now study completely new thing. Completely new thing is another concentration term so far we had not discussed. That is volume strength of hydrogen peroxide. You know, hydrogen peroxide is a liquid, looks like water, but it is marketed as a aqueous solution. It is mixed with water and it is available as a dilute solution. H2O2 is a strong oxidant as well as a reductant also for some reactions. And day-to-day activity, day-to-day lives, it is helping mankind as a disinfectant and antiseptic. And both as an oxidant or reductant, it has the N factor 2. So remember, when to find equivalent mass of H2O2, you have to divide the molecular mass 34 by 2, 17, whether it is oxidant or reductant. But don't ask me disproportionation reaction. There it will be 34. But as a single reactant acting as a reductant or an oxidant, the N factor is 2. You can find out the change in oxidation number per molecule. Now, in the commercial hydrogen peroxide bottles that you buy, there will be a sticker. It's not in terms of molarity or normality or in terms of W by V percent. It is something different called volume strength, not percent, volume strength. It would be written in a sticker 20 volumes or 30 volumes or 40 volumes. More is the numerical value of the volumes, more is the concentration. Stronger is the H2O2 solution. More amount of H2O2 is present in water. So what is that called? X volumes. That is called the volume strength. X volumes, 20, 30, 40. What does it mean, 20 volumes? In another bottle you will find 30 volumes. Is more concentrated than the 20 volumes. So it means X volumes means 1 volume of H2O2, 1 volume of aqueous solution of H2O2. I repeat, aqueous solution. This is not gaseous volume. There is always a confusion between gaseous volume and liquid volume. So this is liquid volume. On decomposition, 1 volume or 1 liter, say 1 liter, 1 milliliter, 1 volume of aqueous solution of H2O2 on decomposition will produce X volumes of gaseous oxygen at STP. So this X is gaseous volume, where 22.4 liters concept will be applicable. But this volume, one volume, is liquid volume, where you cannot apply the 22.4 liters concept. It is liquid volume. Right? For example, I have bought a 20 volumes hydrogen peroxide because it is a disinfectant, antiseptic. I keep it at home. Whenever there is any bruises in my skin, I apply hydrogen peroxide solution. It acts as an antiseptic. Right? So, if I have bought a bottle of 20 volumes H2O2, what does it mean? It means if I take 1 liter of that particular brand of hydrogen peroxide solution and decompose just by adding some catalyst like manganese dioxide or platinum or whatever, it will produce oxygen gas by the reaction this. By this reaction. You have to take here catalyst, some catalyst, even heating, even in the presence of light. But at room temperature, you can use the help of a catalyst to decompose. And if you take 1 liter of the aqueous solution that I have bought from the market, that will produce X volumes. Say if it is 20 volumes, then 20 liters of oxygen will be produced by 1 liter. This 1 liter will be liquid volume. This 20 liters will be gaseous volume. That's the big difference where students, they get cheated. Supposing you have bought a volume, hydrogen peroxide bottle to your home, written 30 volumes. Tell me, what does it mean? Tell me, what does it mean? It means if you take 1 milliliter, let's take now in terms of milliliters. 1 milliliter of such a solution, that aqueous solution, small 1 milliliter, if you decompose at STP and collect the oxygen gas, you will find it will be 30 milliliter of oxygen gas. 1 milliliter is liquid solution. So 1 ml of the liquid solution will produce 30 ml gas. So this is liquid solution, that is gas. There students get entangled and they are lost. Right? How to solve the problem? See, we will solve together. You are asked to find, you are given a 20 volumes I have brought from the market, where in the bottle there is a sticker 20 volumes. What will be its W by V percent? Or I can ask you, what is its molarity? What is its normality? So this is another concentration term strictly applicable for hydrogen peroxide, and that is it is expressed in the form of available oxygen gas in the gaseous state from a given volume of the liquid solution. So often students get confused. Volumes, they mistake it to a percent, W by V percent. No, nothing to do with percent here. But now we shall convert this to percent. Let's see. Now let's write down the equation first. Stoichiometry means equation. This is a disproportionation reaction where the equivalent concept you should not apply. Make sure that you don't be mad after equivalent concept every time you will be applying equivalent concept and the n factor will be same too. No. For a redox reaction where either H2O2 is acting as an oxidant or a reductant, then the n factor is 2. But here this is disproportionation. I told you how to find the n factor. That is more intriguing. So use your molar method concept. Never ever use always. Whenever there is a titration, 2 solutions, then you can use equivalent concept to economize, to shorten the time period of calculation, right? But molarity is superb. I keep it at the top. But at times, when it is titration, single experiment, both solutions, then V1N1 is equal to V2N2 will save a lot of our valuable time. Now let us solve. 20 volumes means what? 1 liter aqueous solution, H2O2 solution, generates 20 liters of oxygen gas at STP. Now if you look to the stoichiometry, this 2 moles means 2 into the molecular mass is 34, 2 plus 32, this is 34 gram. Produces 1 mole means 22.4 liters of oxygen at STP. So conversely speaking, 22.4 liters of oxygen gas is produced by 2 into 34 grams of H2O2. Now, 20 liters of oxygen gas at STP is produced by how much? This, let me, because all my previous calculations have gone to oblivion. Doesn't matter. 2 into 34 into 20 divided by 22.4. It is 60.71 gram. So I would like to ask you a question here. You pause the video, think a while and come forward and check with me whether you have correctly thought about it or not. Often at this stage, class 11, 12, students, they feel a little difficulty because throughout the junior level, often the students are spoon-fed. They are not given any room for developing their analytical minds. So whenever they get such opportunity to use their analytical brain, they fail. They don't think. They have no capacity to think. I'm sorry, I'm not addressing to all of you. But those of you who have been spoon-fed to a large extent, have not been allowed to provoke the thought process for higher level thinking skills. Now see, my question is, this 60.71 gram of hydrogen peroxide is present in how many liters of aqueous hydrogen peroxide solution? Tell me. Pause. I repeat the question. This 60.71 that we got from the calculation, which will produce 20 liters of STP, 20 liters of oxygen at STP, this amount of H2O2 is present in what volume of aqueous H2O2 solution? Pause. Got it? What? 1 liter. Because 1 liter of aqueous solution produces 20 liters of oxygen. And we have taken this 20 liters gaseous volume to find the mass of H2O2, pure mass, pure H2O2, mass of the pure H2O2 present in that sample which has produced this much of. So that sample must have a volume of 1 liter because it's 20 volumes means 1 liter will produce 20 liter. 1 liter aqueous solution will produce 20 liter gaseous oxygen. 1 milliliter, 20 milliliter. 1 gallon, 20 gallon. So this must be present in 1 liter or 1000 ml of aqueous H2O2. Then how to find the W by V percent? So W by V percent is equal to the mass of the solute, pure solute, divided by the volume of the solution 1000 into 100. So that means 10 times less, 6.07% W by V. So the hydrogen peroxide which is branded as 20 volumes will have a W by V percent of 6.07%. You got it? And if I give you an assignment, what will be the volume strength of a 10% H2O2 solution by volume? That means 10% W by V. So what is the volume strength? X volumes. There is a confusion, isn't it? What will be the volume strength? What is the X volumes sticker that I can put on H2O2 sample whose W by V percent is 10%? So you can do the reverse analysis. Here I have given 10%, that means 10 gram of H2O2, pure H2O2 is present in 100 ml solution. Then see if this gives 22.4 liters, then 10 grams will produce how much gram? So that 10 gram is present in 100 ml. So if 100 ml produces this many liters, 100 ml gaseous, 100 ml aqueous solution produces this many liters, this many milliliters of oxygen gas, then 1 ml of aqueous solution produces how many milliliters of oxygen gas? That is bound to be its volume strength. So you can, there is another problem for you. Now it has come. Somehow it has. Yes, it is there. Now this is the last one. Calculate the volume strength. I was telling you just before some time that find the volume strength, X volumes, of a H2O2 solution having normality 1.5 N, or you will be given sometimes molarity, or you will be given sometimes W by V percent, to convert it into its volume strength, X volumes. Let's do that. The answer is given here. Let's see. Again, we write down the equation. Sorry, this is all liquid and this is gas. H2O2 solution is not pure. We have brought it from the market as aqueous solution with some brand. Here it is a very diluted solution, 8.4 volumes, much diluted compared to the earlier problem where we took 20 volumes, right? Now, let us first concentrate on this. Now, I'm sorry, this is the answer. We'll concentrate on this. So, 1.5 N means what? It is 1.5 equivalent present in 1000 ml or 1 liter. Or 1 liter. What is 1.5 equivalent? What is its mass? So 1.5 into its equivalent mass. I told you that equivalent mass of H2O2, the N factor is 2. So the molecular mass is 34 by 2 is 17 is its equivalent mass. So let us not spoil this space because we'll be doing stoichiometry calculation here. So equivalent mass is equal to 34 by 2, 18. So don't ask me that H2O2 has equivalent mass of 34 in disproportionation reaction. If nothing is said, I tell you, if nothing is said, you presume that the H2O2 will be used as an oxidant or as a reductant, not undergo disproportionation. It's a valid question. A student asked me in the class sometimes that how could you know that the H2O2 that you are having in a bottle will not be used for disproportionation? Why we take the N factor 2? Correct. In that case, you take 34 by 1, 34 if it is disproportionation. Now, therefore, I am stipulating here H2O2 to be used as OA or RA, not as a self auto redox or disproportionation reaction, right? So once we know the equivalent mass is 17, I'm sorry, then 1.5 into 17 is how much? $25.5. Yes, 25.5 gram. Right? So now Let us start. 2 into 34 gram is producing 22.4 liters of oxygen gas at STP. Then 25.5 gram will produce how many liters of oxygen gas? 22.4 by 2 into 34 into 25.5. That is coming, I have done it, that is coming 8.4 liters. That's it. And tell me, this many liters of oxygen gas is produced by how many liters of aqueous H2O2? 1 liter, because normality 1.5 N means in 1 liter solution you have this many equivalents or this many grams. So 1 liter is the volume of the aqueous solution. So this is the volume of the aqueous solution. 1 liter produces 8.4 liters gas. This is gas, this is aqueous. So definitely the volume strength is 8.4 volumes. Understood? So you solve some problems. Unless you solve some problems yourself, it's not possible. I have given you assignments, 17 assignments. Here in the last question, I have asked you to find the volume strength of H2O2, which is decimolar. And also, I would like to give another task. Calculate the volume strength of a commercial sample of H2O2, sample having W by V percent of equal to 20%. Right? So with this I conclude today's session, and in the next video we shall be talking about the titration equivalent concept, the experiment itself. So for now, bye bye. Have you liked it? Have you? Press a button, like button. If not, don't. If you are following my videos, then you should subscribe. It's not mandatory, but I request. Bye bye.